Welcome to the MPGP podcast. I'm Haley.
Craig.
And today we have so many updates. Let's see. Yo girl, Haley is fully vaccinated. She's a fully vaccinated queen. Pfizer all the way.
What do you think our kids are going to look like because of this?
Bill Gates. Dude, his net worth is $127.3 billion. That's too many monies. Bill.
It's really not that much.
Shut up. Are you serious? Billion is like, that's like an unfathomable.
Did you know that Bill Gates actually invented the term billion?
Did he?
Yeah, it's named after him, actually.
No way. Wait, are you kidding? I'm being
Bill
gullible. Wait, are you
Gates.
April Foolsing me right now?
Think about it. Bill Gates.
Are you joking?
Think about it. Bill Gates, billion.
He kind of looks hot as like a 40-year-old.
No, he does not look hot at all. We don't think Bill Gates is hot. He's ugly.
Let's go on the record. Did he get arrested?
Who's the hottest, billionaire? Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk.
Ew.
That's the big four of the billionaire boys.
Well, I feel like, honestly...
I feel like Zuck might be hottest.
No.
I definitely don't want to touch Elon Musk with a 10-foot pole.
They're all really crusty.
I don't want to be in the same room with any of them, and Jeff Bezos gives off, Lex Luthor vibes.
He does.
He looks like a seal. He's as hairless.
He does look like Lex Luthor, dude.
He's as hairless as a seal.
Ew. I'm scared. Let's look at, wait, I'm gonna look at a picture of...
Would you rather get killed by, Jeff Bezos or Jason Voorhees? I'd rather
Jason.
kill me.
I literally am looking up Grimes' boyfriend because I forgot Elon Musk. Okay.
Yeah.
I literally forgot. I know 2 seconds ago you said his name, but I forgot. My brain is fucking fried right now.
Grimes Musk. What do you think?
Honestly, I think out of all of them,
You'd fuck him? That wasn't the question.
dude. If okay, isn't that wait? What was the question?
Who's hottest? I guess. Maybe it was fuck. I don't know.
I thought. Oh, I guess well.
Please tell me you wouldn't.
I wouldn't fuck him if the question is okay. I would not fuck. I'm going on the record right now and saying I would not fuck any billionaire. That, especially the ones that we listed. I'm just saying that Elon Musk is more attractive than the Zuck, and definitely more attractive than Jeff Bezos, and more attractive than... I feel like Bill Gates and Elon Musk are kind of tied.
No, I don't think... Elon Musk is not hot. He has a square face. He dates Grimes. Fuck this guy. He's a billionaire who wants to be cool. If you get to be a billionaire, you don't also get to be cool.
Yeah, it's annoying.
You can't have everything.
Honestly...
I hate him on principle.
Billionaires are weird.
I'd like to be a thousandaire.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have $1,000 in our bank account.
we were at a drive-in movie theater and got some popcorn.
Mm-hmm. And we saw Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Mm-hmm. The Dream Warriors, my first time viewing. And my first time at a drive-in, I think.
My first time at a drive-in. I'd seen the movie a bunch.
It was okay. It was fun, but I think we would go back without the car because Craig's windshield or roof. There was they made us pull.
First off, I have a truck.
Yeah.
It's a 2-seater. And it's very cramped, and it's a bench seat kind of deal. So it's not really cushy reclining your chair back vibes. You're just kind of sitting upright. The shape of the seat is kind of what you get. So, yeah, we couldn't. We were the only truck there because who the fuck has a truck in Brooklyn? So they're like, you go over here by yourself. which seems cool. We weren't like in the line of cars and trapped, really.
Yeah.
But that we were the front row then. So I kept trying to back my truck up to like sneakily back my truck up to view the screen.
Yeah, like we couldn't
because I couldn't
view
see.
it.
I was
we
like breaking my neck.
Yeah, we literally had to like
up.
bend down. And we still
couldn't.
We still couldn't really see. We backed up like
I was like laying down in my truck.
Yeah,
and I was afraid my battery was gonna die because you have to listen to the audio through
a radio.
Through your radio.
Yeah.
So you're running the battery.
So it was definitely like a thing, and I do want to go back because it was really fun. But they also like have, well, also we saw that I feel like we're like not doing a good job playing it because all we're doing is complaining. But that's just our personality, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But
Skylight Drive-In.
Yeah, we loved it. We had so much fun. We love you, Skylight Drive-In. If you're listening, please, we'll shoot a commercial, and we would love to be featured in your commercials. But
we will give you a lot of money again to watch one of your movies.
Yeah. Also, we should probably like write our Yelp review. But anyways, we're gonna go back to complaining. We went to it was like an 11:30 show, which like this is not on Skylight. All of these things are on us. I was glad
it was at that time.
Oh my god, but it was like it was like really past 1 a.m. when we were like heading home and I was tired. But
that's fun.
It was fine.
You were driving.
Also, yeah, fine. True. Well, I thought that you were tired, but I guess it was fine. But also, it's kind of like it's cool because, like, the bars still close at, like, 10. You can't really do that much. So on, like, Saturday night, like, this is, like, the first time we stayed out, like, past 1 since, like, COVID times, basically. So it was really fun, very safe, fun activity to do. And I would like to go back, like, for when the weather gets warmer, for like a little sunset movie, because you can go even if you don't have a car, and recline and have some movie snacks and be COVID safe.
We didn't even talk about what we thought about the movie. It was you've never seen it before.
I loved it. I thought it was really fun. Freddie was. I love his one-liners. Favorite death was probably it's prime time. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yeah, the chick who wants to be on TV gets smashed into the screen.
So yeah, that was a good one. I liked
that
it. Return of a great final girl, Nancy.
Larry Fishburne.
The actress from Boyhood.
Oh yeah. What is her
Patricia name? Arquette was in it as a young.
How could you forget Pat?
Is she related to David Arquette?
I don't know. It was good.
Yeah.
I will say, I've watched this one the second most out of that series. Like I've seen the first one the most, and then this one is the other one I always watch. And the other one, if I've seen another Nightmare on Elm Street, I've only seen it like one time.
Yeah.
This one is like really good. The kills are good. Like they get more insane in this movie with like getting smashed into the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And
the puppet
with the tendons.
Oh. The needles.
Oh yeah, the chick who's like an addict. Is that I'm bad and beautiful?
Yeah,
chick? She gets stabbed with
the fucking
syringes because she's a drug addict or something.
The deaths in Nightmare on Elm Street are always so. I mean, because they're so surreal, like because they're literally dreams, but they just gross me out so much. We watched Thesis, directed by Alejandro Amenabar. So it's a Spanish film that I actually watched in film school. Basically about this like film student who like it's so weird. Her thesis is about violence in audiovisual violence.
She was like intrigued by it.
Yeah. So basically it's like that's the premise. She's like writing her thesis on that, so she like connects with this guy and they basically like go on this like weird rabbit hole of like snuff films and discover that there's like a snuff film ring at their university basically. And yeah, I watched it in film school because I took a Spanish cinema class, and the main actress that's in it was also, she was in a bunch of Spanish films. It was what's her name? Ana Torrent. She's like, I remember like in school being taught about her because she has these like kind of big expressive eyes, and my film teacher was like, she's known as the eyes of Spain. And I'm like, but yeah, she's also in Spirit of the Beehive, which is really good, but I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Yeah, I love that movie. And this movie was really good too. I only heard Haley talk about it. She mentioned it one time after I'd watched Spirit of the Beehive while I was off and she was at work. Mm-hmm. And I was just like watching Spirit of the Beehive on Criterion by myself, and it was really cool. And then she like told me this aside about thesis, and it kind of just like left my mind. Mm-hmm. And then our roommate Hannah brought it up that she wanted to watch it and had never seen it before, and I hadn't seen it, so we like dove into that, and it wasn't what I expected, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I always expect film school movies to be like really stuffy and like snobbish.
Yeah.
Like boring as fuck, like, oh my god, like okay, we get it, you're fucking smart or whatever. But that wasn't this at all. This was awesome.
It's a thriller. It's very thriller.
It was very thriller. It was very Spanish, like
sexy.
Yeah, everything from Spain is sexy.
Yeah, we love. Like, yeah.
I liked I always like movies that are centered around like weird or not weird tech that's specific to like a time period, like hackers or like stuff like that. The Matrix has a lot of shots of like old PCs and stuff, and this movie is all about like camcorders.
Yeah, like specific.
The Sony TH100X or 500X or whatever it's called, something like that, XI, and it's like this big over the shoulder like film, like VHS film tape camera
that has like a very specific feature, and they were like doing
it zooms.
Yeah, they're doing like cool detective work based on their knowledge of filmmaking. But also something funny is the main like guy is like this total like cinephile nerd dude.
I wouldn't call him a cinephile.
Well, he's like
a cretin.
He's
into death like metal really, and snuff.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But he's in film school, and he like, I feel like he's like one of those dudes that would just like know about every movie. But he also had a lot of shirts and posters of Nightbreed. So I don't know if his taste is really that cool, but
yeah, it seemed like the producers of this movie, maybe Nightbreed was like huge in Spain.
Maybe.
Or maybe it was a Spanish production.
Now that we've talked about all the other movies that we've seen, I think
and all this other random shit.
Let's talk about why we're all here. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
Part 5.
A new beginning. But what...
You thought he was dead!
Yeah. You thought he was dead.
He's not.
Well, he might be, but... Or is he? Or is he not? Thank God this series continued. We couldn't leave it at 4. I'm sorry.
The best is yet to come. Still.
No. So, let's see, little fun fact about this movie. It was directed by Danny Steinman, who got his rise to fame, started his career in the hardcore porno industry, which is...
And it shows.
It shows, y'all. The most tits you have seen so far in the Friday the 13th franchise, and they're all big.
Yeah, I was about to say, and I feel like this is like casting by a man who knows boobs very well. Lots of boobs and lots of violence. It's just like all of the if you come to the series for the boobs and the violence, which a lot of people do, this one is like the most so far.
Yeah, and it has the most kills so far at 22. So we are skipping my cast of teens section where I tell you all the characters, and I'm just gonna let you know the characters when we go through the synopsis. We start the movie where baby Tommy Jarvis, not baby Tommy Jarvis, 12-year-old Tommy Jarvis, same Corey Feldman, back reprising his role for the first 5 minutes of the film. He is like in a little yellow raincoat watching two teens dig up Jason's grave, basically, to like fuck with his corpse. Or
yeah, I guess they just want to see his face or something, because it's spooky.
Yeah. So they like dig up his grave and they see Jason. He has worms coming out of all of the holes in the hockey mask. Looks great.
Yeah.
And shockingly, Jason has a machete in one hand, which he uses to stab one teen in the stomach. And in his other hand, he has either... It's said on the wiki, the Friday the 13th wiki, that it's a screwdriver, but it looks like...
It looks like a wood carving tool, because it has a ball on the end where it would fit into your palm.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like a chisel type thing, and I'm like, why the fuck would Jason have this in the grave?
Yeah, I mean he's always brandishing weapons. So he takes that and stabs the other teen in the neck with the tool, and then lifts himself out of the grave. Jason's approaching baby 12-year-old Tommy Jarvis, who also has full head of hair as well. Noted. His hair has grown back since
after the events of Jason's death in the previous movie, mm-hmm. where Tommy shaved his head, all but 103 hairs left on his head.
And as Jason nears him and looks like he's about to kill him,
he's like, "Square up."
We flash forward 5 years, and it turns out that was a whole dream sequence. And Tommy Jarvis is in a car on his way to Pinehurst Halfway House, which I'm not sure where it is in relation to Crystal Lake, but obviously it must still be in New Jersey because people know who Jason is and stuff like that.
It's got to be in the town, because that's just where the events of the last movie that Tommy Jarvis was involved in happened.
And the sheriff knew Jason as well. Knew who Jason was.
Yeah.
Because he was speculating that Jason came back from the dead, which was kind of wild.
He was like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
It's Jason.
Yeah. That's a very interesting... We can talk about this a little later, actually. But
at this point, Jason is already like a folk tale.
Yeah.
Jason is like this... He's like a Frankenstein already at this point, where people know he's like hard to kill, he, like never dies, and there's nothing you can do about it except respect his land.
Yeah, don't go near Crystal Lake. But yeah, so Tommy is on his way to Halfway House 5 years after the events of the fourth movie. So if you have not watched the fourth movie, don't know who the fuck Tommy Jarvis is, y'all need to pause the podcast and go watch it right now. Okay, did you watch it? Okay, let's move on then.
So yeah, it's like a halfway house. So it's, I'm assuming people who are either addicts or have some sort of, you know, like thing they're going through.
Yeah, like it's kind of
like a recovery.
There's just a bunch of different teens that, you know, it's not really clear why everyone's there, but
some seem like bad kids, some
yeah.
seem like angry. Like there's this one kid that's like angrily chopping wood.
And some just are horny. And that's just why they're there. One guy has a stutter.
Yeah.
That's literally, I guess, why he's there. So yeah, it's like kind of like a farm ranch, like
it's basically just like
house for troubled youth.
Typical Crystal Lake Fair type vibe.
Yeah. And so when Tommy gets there, he meets everyone, and everyone at that halfway house includes Dr. Matt Letter and his assistant Pam Roberts. Then the teens, there's Eddie Kelso and Tina McCarthy, who are obsessed with having sex everywhere. Oh my gosh, okay, Wikipedia describes him this way. The stutterer, Jake Patterson. The goth, Violet Moraine. The serious, Robin Brown. The compulsive eater, Joey Burns. And the young Reggie Winter, whose grandfather works as the facility's cook, Grandpa George. They are all getting acquainted and stuff. Tommy's unpacking his shit. He, of course, has his famous puppets and masks that he crafts, and young Reggie starts, like, kind of fucking with him a little bit, but it's all, like, lighthearted and stuff.
Tommy says something like, oh, we're, like, here together. Are you my roommate or something? And Reggie's like, no, I'm not crazy. He's like, I'm not fucked up like you guys. My grandpa works here, or whatever.
While Tommy is there and kind of getting settled, a few things sort of happen. And we're introduced to more characters within this kind of opening scene. And these characters are Ethel and Junior, who are these, like, hillbillies that I guess live next door to the ranch. Or is it a ranch?
The compound.
The compound.
Let's call it.
I'm going to call it the ranch because, I don't know. It's literally like a ranch. Like, they live on a farm, basically.
Where they're herding troubled youth.
Yeah. So Ethel and Eddie approach, and they're like, they caught Tina and Eddie fucking on their property, and they're basically like, don't fucking fuck on our property anymore. Like, if I see y'all, like, we'll kill you, basically. Like,
what did I tell you about keeping your kids off my property? I caught them two down by the water. They were screwing like bunny rabbits.
There's another patient named Vic, and we see him and are introduced to him. He is just angrily chopping wood with an axe. So, you know, he's just going at it. Two of the, like, women are doing, like, laundry and shit, and, one of the other kids, Joey, is eating chocolate and kind of, like, just being annoying and to the girls, and then he, like, leaves them alone. They're like, fuck off, basically. And then he approaches Vic, who is the wrong person to talk to in general, because he just seems very scary, and he, you know, talks to him about chocolate. I think he offers to share his chocolate with Vic, but Vic does not like sweets, and in return, chops his chocolate bar in half, and then as Joey walks away, Vic axes him in the back and brutally murders him in front of everyone, in broad daylight too. So he gets arrested.
Joey reminds me of Shelly from 3D.
Yes. Big Shelly vibes. Big Shelly vibes.
And also, his chocolate bar is like he just like held it with his ham fist and just like smeared it on his face.
It's so
like
so
smeared
melted
on his lips, and he's like,
yeah,
and he's talking to these like girls in skimpy outfits, being like, just like asking them if he can help, and he like grabs some of their laundry and like gets chocolate all over it, and they're just like, ew.
Get the fuck out. So yeah, that's our first real death of the movie. And
Rip
the first like just murder, like unrelated Jason Voorhees murder in the series.
Kids kill a snake.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we can't forget our king, the fucking snake from part 1. Sorry for the disrespect
that was
there.
The first murder.
The first non-Jason / Pamela, non-Voorhees related murder. So, yeah, sorry, Joey, the title goes to the snake.
So at this point, you're probably, like, wondering, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Like, if you didn't know what was happening in this movie, and this is your first time seeing it, and you're, like, the uninitiated viewer, then you're probably just like, why the fuck are they showing me this? I don't care about Joey. It's the movie, if this was the only Friday the 13th movie you ever saw, it starts with a dream sequence, then a time jump from the last movie, and then you're introduced to this whole cast of characters, and you like linger on them for a while, not seeing Tommy, who is apparently the main character.
Yeah.
And then this kid just gets murdered, and you're like, what? Is he Jason?
Yeah. So we're all like, what the hell? So, you know, the police chief and 2 paramedics arrive. One of them makes some kind of, like, wise-ass comment, and the other one looks darkly at him, and then it just fades to black after that. Later that evening, 2 greasers are driving through on their way to a party somewhere in the woods or something, and the car breaks down, and one of them, the like driver, is like, okay, I'm gonna go take a shit, and like, you have to figure this out by the time I get back, basically. So he goes and leaves.
Does he actually say he's gonna go take a shit?
Yes, he does. He goes, he's like, okay, I gotta poop.
Okay, there's lots of poop in this movie. Which is weird. I didn't catch that
There
one.
is lots of poop. And also the, like, chocolate bar could be, like, could be a hint at
Wow, there's lots of kills in this movie.
The other one is starting to fix the car, and then all of a sudden he is attacked by an unseen person, and they put a what do they call those? A fucking
a flare gun?
Flare, yeah. He like uses
just like a flare.
He uses a flare and puts it like in his mouth, and that's how that guy dies. And then
so basically like a firework.
Yeah, he like explode. Well, it doesn't show. I would have loved to see the head explode, but it just kind of like shows his head like light up and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it would explode from a flare because it just kind of shoots sparks.
Yeah. Do you think he'd actually die? Well,
probably not.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's something where if you were to die from that, it would be like days later in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like having a flare shoved in your mouth. But I guess if it's shoved like forcefully enough, it can go through your head or something.
And your brain's like cooking.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know.
I guess it is like fire.
Yeah.
But your mouth would probably extinguish it, right?
That's what I thought. It's kind of like, you just gotta like.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, just suck on the flare when they put it in your mouth. That's how you survive that. Suck.
Suck on it. That's his spit or swallow.
Ew.
He dies, and then his friend comes back, and he's his friend. Like, I swear to God, for like a minute, is like trying to start the car, and he's like talking to his friend as if his friend is still alive and like fixing the car, and he's like, fix the car, asshole, fix the car, you gotta fix the car so we can go, you gotta fix the car, asshole, you gotta fix the car. And he's literally like doing that over and over again for like too long, and then all of a sudden the assailant slits his throat from behind, from the back seat of the car.
With like a machete.
Yeah. So, rip to him, and then later, the same evening, we see, so there's like a driver at Pinehurst. He's like really pervy. He's like kind of like, he's just like, I don't even know how to describe him.
Yeah,
like,
but he was look. I think his vibe is like he's a disco guy. But like disco guys, like if I was in the 80s and I was a disco guy, like it's part of your character to be a like sex addict.
To like sexually
like
harass
Boogie
your
Nights.
coworkers.
He's not a good guy, but he's like doing coke, wearing like a fucking crazy suit, meeting up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
he's
reading
funny.
a porn mag on the job. He's got like a 70s mustache in like the mid 80s.
Yeah, he's funny. He
He's
looks like
bald.
he looks like a porn star,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, basically this might be a porn star.
Yeah.
If you look up his other acting credits.
It actually might be.
Look it
a
up
porn
and let's
star.
see if we can find a naked picture of him.
This is not a porn.
But he does play a porn director.
This dude is going to meet his girlfriend who works at a diner. Her name's Lana. She's like this hot blonde chick. And he's going to pick her up. They're going to go party and have sex and shit. And she goes into the bathroom of the diner to like freshen up, I guess. And we see her literally flash us.
Oh yeah, that's our first boob.
So those are our first boobs. This is boob count time.
She lifts her shirt up.
She like
to
pulls
take
him
her
down.
Bra off.
She goes, ta-da! Like she literally like says like a little thing about like she'll be like, ba-boom or whatever.
Bada boom.
Bada bing, bada bing, and which I thought was fucking funny as fuck. And
she has good vibes.
Yeah, she's posy vibes.
She's looking forward to her night.
Yeah, we stan Lana. We stan a queen that just wants to get her dick. So, so Billy gets axed in the head while he's waiting on her to come out. So he disappears, and then Lana comes out. She's ready. She doesn't see him, obviously, because he got axed in the head, but...
So, at this point in the movie, let's take on the role of the uninitiated to the film, I guess. So, who do we think the killer is at this point? Because I feel like if I was watching this movie for the first time, maybe I would think it was Vic, who killed someone already in the movie. Maybe he's on a killing spree.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's Jason? If you see this movie in theaters and you're like, Friday the 13th, Part 5, I know they said Jason's dead and they mentioned it in this movie, but maybe he's not. Like, he's seemingly survived crazy things before. So are you assuming it's Jason? Are you assuming it's Vic? Jason's supposed to be dead. Vic is supposed to be in prison. What's going on in this movie?
Who else could it possibly be? There's literally no indication that anyone else could be the killer. No one else. I will say, though...
Darkly looks at the camera.
And it fades to black, and then we see the next 4 murders. Yeah. I will say I caught on to who was the killer pretty quickly, but we're not going to reveal it yet. Even though we kind of did, but it's fine. Anyways, Lana, back to our girl. She starts doing some coke while waiting for Billy, and she sees, like, I actually think she sees, like, the assailant or whatever, and she starts, like, freaking out and, like, leaves the car, and she gets axed.
So does she seem to know him?
No, like, I think he's in disguise at this point. So, I don't think anyone really knows the guy.
Well, he probably has a job where he works
closely
with other people.
And everyone in the town knows each other, maybe. Okay. She gets fucking axed in the stomach, okay? The next morning, you know, they're cleaning up the bodies of the greasers, and the sheriff is like, what the hell is going on over here? And one of the paramedics looks at him and goes, are you talking to me, Sheriff? And the sheriff's like, what? No. What? And he's like,
what the hell is up with these murders?
And then the guy's like, oh, yeah, I just thought you were talking to me. And the sheriff's like, I wasn't. And it's, like, really awkward and weird. And you're thinking to yourself, why did I just watch this scene? Well, just think about that a little bit longer. And then the cop is just like, okay, moving on. I kind of think that Jason Voorhees has come back to life and that everyone is killing everyone, or maybe it could be someone that had a little showdown with Jason, potentially a Tommy Jarvis. You saw his look at the end of Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
True, maybe
those beady
eyes. So we
eyes.
have
a few suspects.
Characters. Who's going to be the red herring and who's going to be the one?
I don't even think we know, even after the movie. Later that day, Eddie and Tina, the two horny teens, go into the forest and start having sex. So we see more boobs.
Now, is this the one where she's lying on her back for a long time?
Yeah, there's
with her
like
arms
very
behind her head.
Yeah, there's super like voyeuristic shots of Tina just like chilling on a blanket while
Yeah, not saying anything.
yeah, while Eddie
just shots of her just like lounging.
Yeah, because
It's
Eddie
a quiet moment in the film, if you will.
peaceful, tranquil.
Boobies.
Yeah, titties.
Titties per gallon of popcorn.
Oh my god. Oh, by the way, Tina's lying because Eddie goes and washes up after sex.
In like a random ass river.
Yeah, and just like a creek.
In a pond that is trailing off from Crystal Lake.
So, they are also being like peeped on by Ethel's farmhand, who like literally she like hired in like a scene, like the scene before, basically. This dude named Raymond, who's like super dirty.
Ethel is dirty too.
Yeah,
her face is covered
they do not.
in dirt.
They're very you know, they're very white trash stereotypes.
Yeah, they're definitely trash.
Raymond is stabbed in the stomach, so he dies, and then Tina is like lying peacefully, and she looks up in the trees and then closes her eyes, and then she looks up again, and the murderer is above her with grass cutters. They're like the shears, and he shears like her face basically. And so when Eddie comes back from washing up in the creek, he sees her like eyes
naked.
She's naked
with her face like
cut
up.
Yeah, like her eyes had been cut or whatever. So he like freaks out and backs up to a tree, and when he does that, the killer ties like a belt around his forehead and then uses like a stick to like, is that gelatin it or whatever?
He slides a stick through the belt buckle and then twists it so that it tightens his head against the tree, and the force eventually
explodes his head,
slices through his eyes and makes blood come from his eyes.
Yeah, pretty
while he screams.
That's a brutal one.
Jason
I feel like
could never.
Yeah, well, Jason probably has.
Just kidding. Jason, we miss you.
And maybe Jason did. Who knows? We still don't know at this point. Back at the ranch, if you will, Reggie is asking his grandfather to visit his brother, whose name is Demon, because I guess he like travels around in like a little trailer thing with his girlfriend, and his grandfather reluctantly agrees but asks Pam to escort him, and she brings Tommy Jarvis along. So while they're there, Ethel's son like pulls up on his like weird moped thing and starts like a fight with Tommy, and Tommy like kicks the shit out of him basically and runs away, because again, like, Tommy Jarvis turned into a hottie with like an 8-pack and like muscles, like Corey Feldman who like. So after they leave, Demon and his girlfriend are chilling, and Demon all of a sudden gets irritable bowels, if you will, from some enchiladas or something like that. So he goes to the outhouse because they're in like a trailer park situation, and while he's in there, his like girlfriend starts kind of fucking with him, and then they start like singing together, and they're just like, oh baby, oh baby, baby, like singing like that.
It's a tender moment.
And then he's like getting into it, and then there's just silence from her. So he's just like, bud. And then the toilet starts shaking a little bit, and he starts kind of getting freaked out. so he, like, kind of wraps up, and he opens the door, and he sees that his girlfriend, had her throat slit. And then he freaks out, and he closes the door, and he, like, is still getting, like, shaken and whatever. And then he starts seeing there's, like, a knife that's, like, a long knife, machete type thing. Or, like, even a spear. Like, some kind of long, sharp thing is, like, stabbing through, and he's, like, freaking the fuck out. I think it hits him in one area of his body, like his arm or something. And he's, like, freaking the fuck out. And then he gets stabbed through the stomach and dies. So, rip to Demon and his girlfriend.
That scene is really funny.
Mm-hmm. When Pam and Reggie return to the Institute, like, the teens that are all there, tell them that, Grandpa George, Reggie's grandfather, and Matt are nowhere to be seen. So Pam is like, okay, I'm gonna go look for them, and I'm going to entrust Reggie. I'm just gonna, like, leave Reggie here. So they're like, okay. While that's happening, Junior is having a fucking shit fit back at his mom's house, and he's, like, riding around on the moped, like, literally screaming. It's not a moped, but it might be. It's like a weird bike, like a dirt bike, but whatever, anyways.
Maybe it's like a... I can't remember. It might be just a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like one of those cafe racer, like, flat
It's like,
seat.
it seems comically small.
Yeah, it might be like a flat seat type motorcycle.
And he's, like, screaming. He's like, I'm fucking killing kids. And Ethel's just like, oh my god, I'm just trying to make fucking dinner. Shit. Ethel, by the way, like, hates her son. Like, every single thing he says in the movie, she's just like, shut up! Like, even if he's like, he, like, agrees with her, and he's like, yeah, Mom, you rule. And she's like, fuck you! So she's, like, annoyed as fuck and cooking dinner, and while he's screaming.
Wait, that's her son?
Yes!
He's so old.
I know, it's supposed to be, like, that's her son, and not, and, like, he's, like, a grown, like, weird, that's why his name's Junior.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be weird if that was her husband.
I thought they were fucking.
I mean, they might be. So he's driving the fucking thing, and basically the killer reaches his arm out and with a machete, and Junior's head gets chopped off completely, and his head rolls, and it's really satisfying because he shuts the fuck up, and his mom,
being so loud and annoying.
It's so annoying, and it goes on for a really long time too.
He gets clotheslined with a machete.
Mm-hmm. Then his mom's like, thank God he shut the fuck up.
What was he hooting and hollering about?
It was because he got beat up by Tommy Jarvis, and they hate they hate the halfway house kids. So the fact that he, like, got in a scuffle with Tommy Jarvis and got beat, he was like
tattling. He was like, they hurt me, Mommy.
Basically, he was just, like, freaking out.
That was his way of expressing his pain.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
It's a weird scene.
There's so many weird scenes. There's so many long shots of boobs. There's this fucking scene. There's the scene where he's shitting in the outhouse. Like, all these weird fucking scenes.
Yeah, there's... This movie's so
If you
weird.
broke this movie down to the different scenes that they had to shoot and, like, the locations, you're like, alright, shitting in the outhouse because of enchiladas, riding bike around shack while screaming, boobs in the woods while guy washes up in a creek.
Back at Pinehurst, so the teens left are Jake, Robin, and Violet. So Jake, remember, is the stutterer. Robin is just, like, a normie girl, like, whatever. And then Violet is, like, the goth punk, like, girl. And So Jake and Robin are watching a movie, and Jake basically like tries to shoot his shot and is like, I want to fuck you to Robin, and Robin responds by just like laughing.
Doesn't say no, doesn't say yes, just like looks him in the eyes and laughs.
So that's some tough stuff for Jake. So
he gets the tough stuff of this episode for getting turned down so savagely.
It was, I mean, he wasn't even like that. I mean, I guess it's like pretty intense to be like, I want to have sex with you, like out of nowhere, because it seemed like they were friends. But I don't know, to just laugh. There's a lot of tough stuff. I think honestly, I felt the most sad about Demon and his girlfriend dying.
Yeah, they were the most posy.
Yeah, posy vibes.
They're living the life. The happiest characters live in a trailer park.
And dude, they like honestly,
and
I would
enchiladas that give them diarrhea.
I know, they seemed cool. Like I would hang out with them.
It's the mullet for me.
Yeah, dude, and the fact that his name is Demon. Jake goes upstairs, rejected, and he gets a cleaver to the face. Woo! And Robin goes upstairs and gets ready, and she heads to bed, not before we see her boobs, which are the smallest of the film.
Tiny boobs.
Noted. So Robin is getting into bed, and she, like, turns, and she sees that Jake's dead body is next to her, and she screams, and then from underneath, the killer stabs her with a machete from underneath, and which is, I guess, like, out of, like, you know, when we think of Friday the 13th kills, like, I think, obviously machete, we gotta have, like, a stab to the bottom of bed scene, basically. It's bed or hammock or something, and we have to have cleavers to the face. Like, I feel like that's also iconic.
Also projectiles.
Yes.
Throwing a spear, stabbing a spear through a outhouse, shish kebabbing to the wall. Lots of long, like, weapon kills in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Very Jason-like.
Interesting. Is Jason...
Machete through the bed and the neck? Sounds like Jason. After
we see Violet dance for 2 minutes.
It's like she's breakdancing, but not hitting the floor. So she's kind of, and it's slow, so it's kind of just like doing the robot.
Yeah, dude, Crispin and her dance off. Who's winning?
Oh, shit. I might have to give it to Crispin.
Yeah.
He brought the excitement.
That's true. His dance moves are like bursts of energy, while Violet is just kind of like vibing, which is also cool, but that's
She can vibe over there. Me and Crispin are fucking getting buckwheat on the dance floor.
Nuck if you buck, my
Craig
guy.
and Crispin. Crispin,
Anyways.
we love you.
We love you, Crispin Glover.
But you're not in this movie.
Violet is breakdancing, and then she gets stabbed in the stomach.
Choked, lifted, pinned to the wall, then stabbed up in the air. So feet not on the ground, machete through the stomach. Really? You saw those dance moves and that's what you did?
Then Reggie wakes up just as Pam returns, and they discover all of the bodies in Tommy's room. So you're like, oh, and you don't see Tommy either. So you're like,
By God, maybe it is Tom.
So it could be Tommy, it could be Vic. Remember the guy that killed Joey Burns in the first?
That someone did say early on in the movie, after there was another killing, Like, maybe it's that guy or something?
Yeah.
Or, like, they said he's still in jail, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, they're like... Yeah, so it's probably not Vic, and it could be Tommy, it could be Jason, and it literally couldn't be anyone else that we've ever talked about or mentioned. So they're doing the fucking, final girl tour where they discover all the fucking dead bodies, and basically, guess who opens the door? Fucking seemingly resurrected Jason Voorhees, hockey mask donned, blue stripes instead of the red, and no axe mark on the mask. But still, everything else looks like Jason. So you're like, damn, Jason, new mask. New mask, who dis?
Damn, Jason, new movie, new mask, who dis?
New beginning. So they're like, ah! So they fucking run around. They happen to find the corpses of Matt, the doctor, and Reggie's grandfather, which is tough stuff. And Jason is then lured into a barn, which is also pretty iconic for Friday the 13th movie, I feel like.
Ever since part 3.
Mm-hmm. And, he is struck by a tractor, which I don't remember. And then Tommy Jarvis appears out of nowhere, and he is attacked by Jason, but he defends himself, and eventually he throws Jason from the loft window onto a bed of spikes, killing him. But before we move on, I want to note that there is also, like, a really crazy scene where Pam, who's our final girl, takes a fucking chainsaw and, like, battles it out with Jason, and Reggie's, like, cheering her on and shit, and then I think the chainsaw runs out of gas, and he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, the kid's like, fuck.
And then that's when Tommy comes and, and then...
Well, Tommy is really disappointing. He's like, fight me or something. Tommy's like, I'm here to fight you. I came to save the day. And then he just stares at Jason.
Yeah.
And Jason stares at him. He's like, okay, and just like hacks his chest. Like,
oh yeah, he kind of
like,
gets bodied a bit by Jason.
He slices his chest. I'm like, Tommy, you just like flipped a dude 2 scenes ago. Like, bring some of that energy to Jason.
Yeah.
Now's your moment. You killed him once. Kill him again.
Yeah, bro. So, he does eventually redeem himself, and he does throw Jason from the loft onto a bed of spikes below. And in the process of, this killer dying...
So, his hockey mask flies off, and he's fashioned a mask within a mask under the mask. There's no face plate. So he's made a mask of the back of Jason's head and the sides of Jason's head, but left his face exposed because it's going to be covered by the hockey mask. Mm-hmm. So this dude made a fucking full-on double mask to tribute to Jason. And the person wearing it is fucking... You might have missed it. The fucking guy from the beginning who is staring at the camera. And
it's the paramedic.
And they linger on.
It's
he has like one line.
And his name is Roy Burns.
Which I don't think they ever said that. But you find out Roy Burns is the father of the first dead...
Joey Burns.
Joey, the chocolate eater.
So, basically we get a, I guess, like, a Pamela Voorhees type killer where he's getting revenge on the teens that killed his son. Which, it's like, bro, it's not their fucking fault that this Vic dude, like, went bananas on your annoying-ass chocolate-eating son, but... Sure. whatever Roy Burns.
So yeah, Roy Burns is the killer in this movie, and not Jason. He's a copycat killer. He's playing Jason and killing for his own reasons. He's inspired by Jason. And a lot of Friday the 13th fans fucking hate this movie for that reason. Friday the 13th fans, one thing I've learned from like reading their thoughts online is that they fucking only like Jason. they don't want to see Pamela. They only like Jason in the hockey mask.
Yeah.
No Baghead, no Pamela, no Roy Burns. Fuck that shit. Give me pure unadulterated Jason.
Yeah. But this movie is so fun. Okay, wait, we're not done yet, though. Okay, so we find out that it's Roy Burns, like, well, one, because we see his face, but the policeman, basically, like, when Pam, Reggie, and Tommy are in the hospital, the policeman, like, gives us basically, like, the answer where, like, he spells out the motive and plot and basically, like, yeah, it's this guy because X, Y, and Z. And you as a viewer are like, okay.
And you're like, thanks. Yeah. Like, let's just tell the viewer everything they need to know about this character because we didn't show it at all. Like, we just showed, like, two creepy, like, random shots where one of his lines were literally, "Are you talking to me, Sheriff?"
Yeah. And then just, like, staring suspiciously. So that's, that's that. And then there's like a weird thing where Pamela goes to check on Tommy and she gets stabbed in the stomach, but then she wakes up and that was just a dream. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna check on Tommy or whatever. And
she gets stabbed in the stomach by Jason, right?
No, by Tommy.
Tommy's wearing the mask and killing her.
No, Tommy's not wearing the mask. She literally gets stabbed by Tommy.
Okay,
like,
Tommy's in the bed and he pulls the knife out from underneath
and he
his
stabs
robe
her.
Or whatever.
Yes. So then she wakes up and that's a dream. Then I think we're in like, the last scene is very confusing, guys, so bear with us. But basically, Tommy's in the room and he's sleeping, and she, like, I don't know if Pam is checking on him or whatever. I think Pam's not checking on him at this point. But Tommy's in the room, and he wakes up, seemingly, and he sees Jason. And then that's weird. And you're like, wait, what? So Jason's, like, in Tommy Jarvis's room. And then Pam walks in. And then you see, like, the windows open. And Tommy's not in the bed, so you think Tommy escaped. But then you see behind Pam, Tommy Jarvis is wearing Jason's hockey mask.
Well,
and he's holding a knife.
He's wearing Roy Burns'
hockey
hockey mask.
Well, he's wearing a hockey mask, and he's holding a knife.
He kept it, I think. Remember? So there's also a line where once they go down to investigate Roy Burns' dead body, and they, like, take his mask off, that, like, Tommy keeps it for some reason, and then when he's in the hospital, after these events of that night, they're like, you kept that thing or something? Or, like, it's, like, on his person.
Yeah.
He, like, wanted to keep it because he's obsessed.
He's a weirdo. But, yeah, basically, the movie ends with Tommy wearing a hockey mask behind Pam, holding a knife, and then it ends. And it's implied that he actually, like, is a killer, might be the killer.
Has a momentary lapse of reason.
It's like a lot.
Comes to and then goes back to normal in the next movie and goes back to dig up Jason's grave.
And yeah, it's all very, the ending is very messy, in my opinion. I mean, as you can tell by me trying to explain it.
But also, it, like, if you know the lore of previous movie and Tommy, it makes sense because Corey Feldman gives like a look at the end of the first one. So they're just kind of like redoing that, but now he's older.
Does, but
they're like he didn't kill this time, but he will next time.
Yeah. It's weird. And I think that the idea was supposed to be that, like, for maybe 6, Tommy was the killer, but they definitely did not follow through with that because 6 does not even...
Like retcons.
It literally doesn't even, like, talk about... I mean, I think they obviously talk about that he was in a halfway house, and I think it's implied that he was jumping from, like, different facilities and stuff even before he got to Pinehurst. So, like, you know, everyone knows who Tommy Jarvis is, but I don't think that and I could be wrong, like, we haven't seen Part 6 in a while, but I don't think that it really mentions the events of Part 5.
Yeah, I don't think so either. We hadn't seen Part 5, so even if it did reference them, we probably didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't seen the movie. So I think my favorite kill is definitely Eddie, who, if you remember, has just finished having sex and coming back from washing up in a creek. And this is right after Tina gets shears to the face. But Eddie gets tied to a tree with his own belt. So belt around the eyes, around a tree, back to the tree. And Roy Burns is behind the tree, tying the belt together with a stake through the belt buckle, or like, yeah, I guess the loop at the end of the belt, and then twists it to put force on his eyes against the tree and like rip the belt through his face a little bit, and it makes his eyes bleed while he's screaming. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
It's very, like, gratuitous. I think that's the most gratuitous kill in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I like Tina's kill before that, too, just because the shears... It's interesting. Reminds me of the burning or something. And... aside from that, probably Roy Burns falling onto the spikes, just because I like Roy Burns as a character, and I like the reveal.
Yeah. I would say my number 1 is the same as yours. That head crush was brutal. Really gross. The second one I'm gonna give to our boy Demon, because we finally got the porta potty kill that we never got in Part 2.
With Huck.
Was that Part 2? Yeah, that was
No,
Part 3.
Part 3 with the stoners.
With the stoner guy, yeah. So
Chuck.
Chuck. His name is Chuck. So yeah, so that was a good one. And then I'm gonna give a special honorable mention, not a full kill because we didn't see it happen, but it is a body reveal. Grandpa George, sorry dude, but his eyeballs got like ripped out, and a Friday the 13th must, his body was thrown through the window at the final girl and boy, which always happens. Which, yeah, but tough stuff for Grandpa George and fucking Reggie, whose fucking brother and grandpa died, and that's a really big bummer for him. So, yeah. I feel like it's only fitting that this boobie-filled movie, which I guess we technically see, like...
There's a boob at least in every movie.
Yeah, there's a boob, but this one we have the most boobs. And I would say we see 3 pairs.
There's 3 girls, or no, 4.
But we kind of see Pam's, like, through her shirt, because she's wearing a white shirt with no bra
In the rain.
in the rain. Oh, yeah, it's raining, too.
And there's
Classic.
the chick who does the coke.
Yeah, so there's Lana, kind of Pam, Tina, and that's it. But those are, I mean, oh, and fucking Robin. So, yeah, so we have 8 boobs total. So how many out of 8 boobs would you give this movie?
How many boobs?
And why? And why?
I would give this movie 6 boobs and like 2 moles.
Areolas.
Out of 8. I would give it 6 point something out of 8 because I like it a lot. I like this movie. I think it gets shit on too much by the fans of the series. Like, if you just type in what is the best Friday the 13th movie, no one's gonna say this one. Like, hardly anyone would consider this the best one. And a lot of people would consider it the worst. And I don't think it's either. I definitely don't think it's anywhere near the worst. I like it a lot. I like that it's a different person than Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And because, like, I do think they had to do something after the final chapter to make it such an ultimatum with, like, we're calling the movie the final chapter and then wanting to, like, not even, like, what, a year later? When did this movie come out? We didn't even talk about that.
I think it was
95, because the last one came out in 84, and this one came out in 85. Final chapter
85,
came out in 84.
yeah.
So a year later, this movie's already made after the final chapter, and it's like, yeah, you can't just start the final chapter and be like, Jason is alive already. He's already back. Like, it's only been a year. You just saw this movie probably 6 months ago. So, yeah. I think they had to do something. Either make Tommy the killer, or... Which arguably could have been a cooler move, maybe?
Yeah. But then we wouldn't have part 6 the way that it was.
True.
But, you know, I mean...
It happened the way it should. And
yeah.
I think this movie has its place in the series, in the franchise. I think Roy Burns' mask is cool. I've always been more of a blue guy as opposed to a red guy. Like, never been a red guy. I'm gonna wear the blue mask if I had to pick my mask on a table. I'd probably pick the green mask, but that killer hasn't come up yet, so I can't pick him. But
okay, out of 8 boobies, I think I'm gonna give this a 5, just like a solid 5.
5 boobies.
Yeah, I did like this movie. I thought it was really fun. It gave us, like, a little bit of traditional Friday the 13th moves with some of the kills and stuff. Some of the kills, like, I mean, it was very... I mean, there's 22. Like, I can't be like, oh my god, like, I wish they really went there 22 times. But, like, you know, there is a lot of, like, stab off screen, like... body reveals, like, we don't see every kill or whatever, so, like, I'll give it, like, I'll knock off a few areolas for that. And but on the other hand, I think it is kind of cool to see just, like, a because, like, we'd seen 4 up until this point of, well, 1 was Pamela, 2, we get the start of Jason, and then we get 2 more. That's, like, Jason just being impossible to kill. Then we do kill him. And it was kind of, like, nice to just have, like, to go back to, well, who is the killer? And have, like, a sort of air of mystery like we did in the first film. Where it's, like, who could this be? You know? Like, and it gave me what I really wanted in the first movie because, like, I knew the twist before. I watched Friday the 13th, like, the original Friday the 13th. I already knew it was Pamela Voorhees, like, and I knew about Jason or whatever, and so I think after seeing part 4 and knowing that Jason is dead and knowing that Jason's not in, or like he's not the killer in the next movie, or at least like knowing that it wouldn't be possible technically, I mean, whatever, I think it was kind of fun to play that guessing game of who could it be again. But at the same time, I fucking guessed it was fucking Roy Burns within, like, as soon as I fucking saw the guy on screen. Because he literally, like, the camera just lingered too long on him. It was just kind of like, it was very, very, very obvious, but it also was sort of like, I mean, I get the motive because it's the same sort of motive as Pamela in a way, but also, I don't know, I still kind of feel disconnected from Roy Burns as, like, a killer. Like, I don't really, because the only time we really, like, heard him talk, he was being super, I felt like it was, like, he was a little bit hammy, especially when he was talking to the sheriff, and he was just like, "You talking to me, officer?" Like, no, bro, no one was talking to you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? He seems like a
goofball.
Yeah, so it's just, it is weird, like, but it was fun as fuck. Like, really like the characters. I like the new setting. Honestly, like, we saw this and we saw Dream Warriors, and I was like, these kind of feel like somewhat similar. Like, obviously, it's very different premise-wise, but, like, I feel like with Dream Warriors, like, there is this, like, new twist of, like, oh, this one character, like, has this power and shit, and it introduces, like, more lore and stuff, and I feel like part 5, like, tries to do a similar thing, and I think it's a successful movie. I mean, yeah, I think me and Craig are both on the same page with that. We both like the movie and don't think, I mean, you know, it's fine to be, like, Die Hard, Friday the 13th equals Jason, but the movie's fun. Like, the movie's good. We recommend it. It's fun. We watched it on Scream Factory. I mean, we'll repeat it every episode.
Scream Factory Collector's Edition Blu-ray box set.
Yeah, so we have that. We need to watch the behind the scenes stuff from that. We didn't end up watching that this time, but
Friday 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. It's definitely new, but not. It's definitely different, but not. I mean, it basically could still be Jason if he just, like, you could edit this movie into just being Friday the 13th, Jason's back for some reason. And, like, and he's got a blue mask now, and it would be, you could edit, do a version of this movie where it is Jason, and it wouldn't even, I wouldn't bat an eye at it.
Yeah.
Because it's the same, but not. And for some reason that triggers people.
Yeah.
It's like basically the exact same as all the other movies. It's just technically a different person. And then in the very next movie, all of that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah. Good times.
It's good.
Yeah.
You guys should watch it and let us know what you think. Maybe you hate it and you can explain to us why we should also hate it.
Yeah. We would love to hear from y'all. Maybe we can do, like, a little, like, Q&A thing on our Instagram, which is MPGP_podcast, and say, what is your honest opinion of Friday the 13th Part 5, and see what we get. So, all of our Instagram followers and listeners, you know, look out for that. Keep engaging with our content online, and we are still on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. So, like, subscribe, comment, follow us, comment on our pictures, like our pictures, like our podcast, rate us.
Jesus.
Well, that's all from us for tonight. So, happy April Fool's Day. Good night. Bye.
Bye.